Welcome.
Hey, hey.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much, guys. Man, I have 3 towers and just yesterday, and I already gave away half of this bucket to my in the next week. I want to share with you guys. I know, like, you hear a lot of stories, especially if you come on this call. You hear these great stories about growing. You guys understand like how the tower garden works. You understand the benefits. There's so many benefits. Environmental. I'm starting up a guy on a farm. I'm really excited. He's buying 125 tower gardens. He's getting a greenhouse and he's starting a farm up here in North Florida. I'm in Jacksonville. And he just wants to be an environmental farmer. He's a marketer right now, and he's quitting that job and just becoming a tower garden farmer. And it's going to be super exciting. But let me introduce myself properly. Thanks for that slideshow. That's super fun to see that. My name's Doug Farrar. I live in North Florida in Jacksonville. Just recently came up here from South Florida. So all my growing has been in Florida, a very harsh environment. The opposite of what you guys get up north. We get a year-round growing season. I did notice in Jacksonville, it did become a little bit of a problem just on a few freezes, maybe only 2 nights, 3 nights this year. Probably just cover them up and they were all good besides that. But I'm a former school administrator that I've been with this Juice Plus company for 20 years. And my wife was working this business full time and just growing her business over the years. And there came a point where it was somewhere around the time where maybe her paycheck surpassed mine, or maybe I came home from enough 12-hour days where she was still in her pajamas making more money than me. And I said, man, I got to figure out about this stuff. So I did. I started getting more involved in the Juice Plus and Tower Garden world. And here we are some years later, and I haven't worked the 9 to 5 in the last 7 years. So this is all we do full time. We both work together. She's a presidential marketing director. I'm an international marketing director. And we still have a growing team, and we just love what we do. We love people. We love investing in people and helping them get healthy. And I thought everything was going great, and it was. Life is great. I cannot complain. I'm loving it. But you know what? Not too long ago, I found out, even though I had made some healthy changes, that apparently it wasn't enough. And depending on your background, your genetics and whatnot, sometimes maybe you got to do a little bit more. And it turned out that I had a blockage in my heart, my right coronary artery. They found a blockage, over 90% blocked. So they were like, oh, we need to go in and check this out. So they go in with a catheter and a camera, and they were going to, if they could, they were going to put a stent in there to open it up. But while they were in there, not only did they discover they were correct in that, and they did put a stent in on the right side, but they noticed that the left coronary artery, I think that's the widowmaker, that was 90% blocked too. So from what they tell me, I literally could have had a massive heart attack. And the reason, and when you have a heart attack on that widowmaker artery, they call it the widowmaker because you don't make it. You're going down if that's the one. I'm very thankful for all these years I've been taking Juice Plus. I know that University of Maryland study that the prevention I was getting prevented my arteries from constricting after these high fat meals that I was still eating. I had made changes, but I still didn't fully give up the life with that pizza and some chicken wings here and there. It was no good. I was carrying extra weight. I knew my blood pressure was a little high. I always knew my cholesterol was a little high, but it seemed like things were chugging along okay. But then I got that scare. And now for the rest of my life, I have those stents in my veins. And I was like, dang, I really hate it. It's scary. But I went to cardiac rehab afterward, and I went to a program that was designed by a guy named Dr. Dean Ornish. You may have heard of him. If not, or if you know anybody that has cardiovascular disease in any form, or even has a concern about it, you want to check out people like Dr. Esselstyn, Dr. Dean Ornish, Dr. McDougall, guys like that. Anyway, so I go through this cardiac rehab, and they taught us how to relax and de-stress and breathe and do yoga. They taught us how to get in the gym and work out and start exercising. We went to group therapy where we would just talk through like the emotions of what we're going through and the changes we're making, because it's hard. I've made a lot of changes in my life. I've been successful in a lot of things in my life, but that one area of my life that I couldn't fully like conquer, that was my self-control of eating really well. And I knew what to do, but I just really couldn't do it. But you know what? When they're putting catheters in you and they're putting stents in and they're talking about heart attacks and stuff, all of a sudden you get the discipline to make those changes. So they told me what to do, and I have made those changes. And let me tell you, It's difficult. I'm not gonna lie, it's difficult to make serious change, but here's the thing, the results are awesome. My total cholesterol has gone from 230 to 125. My blood pressure has gone from being elevated, oftentimes over 150 to 160 over 100, down to completely normal now. Okay, I've lost 40 pounds in the last 7 or 8 months. But let me tell you guys, I want to share with you guys today how the Tower Garden fits into all this. Juice Plus and the Tower Garden. First of all, I doubled up on my Juice Plus. I wasn't really a serious omega taker of our plant-based omegas, but that's one of the prescriptions from Dr. Dean Ornish is to take an omega. So I've been taking double omega for the last 7 months, and these numbers are working. I've been exercising, I've been de-stressing, I've been stretching, doing yoga, things like that, meditation, just really. And part of that meditation is getting into the Bible and just finding peace there and just not getting stressed out. So here's the thing. When people want to eat better, sometimes they'll do things like they'll say, you know what, I'm gonna go vegetarian. And some people are like, oh my gosh, how can you give up meat? I gotta have meat. It's impossible. I could never do that. Let me tell you, it's not that hard to give up meat because the next level is when you go vegan. Okay. And now you have no dairy. Dairy, I can live without dairy, but then there's the cheese. Some people are like, oh no, oh please, don't take away my cheese. That's hard. Some people are like, no, I can't do that. It is challenging because cheese is in a lot of things. You can find a lot of meatless dishes, but now you got no meat, no cheese. Let me tell you, that isn't hard. Not compared to number three, which I've done, which is no oil. And that's where all these doctors that are reversing heart disease are recommending a diet that's very low in fat, like 30 grams of fat or less per day. And the way you get there is by not doing oil. That includes olive oil. I know everybody's promoting like olive oil. Listen, olive oil is a processed food that's pure fat. I don't want to argue with anybody about it. I know some people don't like that or whatever, but my number is working for me and I'm alive. So I'm going to stick with it. But here's the deal. It's hard to eat with no oil. Like what restaurant can I go to and order a dinner that's going to be less than 10 grams of fat for the whole meal? It's almost impossible. I can't eat anywhere unless I literally have a place that I can dictate that this is what I want you to make for me and this is how I want you to cook it. So in reality, what I've done is I just don't eat out very much anymore. It's saved us a lot of money. That's awesome. And I've learned to cook really well. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I figured out how to make things like Nashville hot tofu and all these Asian noodle bowls and all this good stuff. But let me tell you, the Tower Gardens are part of the reason why I can do this because I have this produce that is just ridiculous. And what I love about the Tower Garden, I see you guys growing all that different stuff. Everybody gets to grow whatever they want on the Tower Garden. Like I know I want tomatoes in my salad, so I got plenty, and I got tomatoes for my friends too. I know that I make hummus almost, gosh, I don't know how many times per week, but I want really good parsley in my hummus and topping on it. I know I put parsley in my hummus and it comes out just amazing. I know that I want to have salads. What's cool on the Tower Garden is you go to the grocery store and you're just buying some lettuce. You're hoping for the best. What if you want, it's almost like you get to choose which strain of lettuce you want to eat. And this is a leaf lettuce that I'll phase out during the summer because it's going to get a little too soft for me. But what I really love in the summer is that I can choose these varieties. Like I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida. It's already over 90 degrees every day right now. And this is a type of lettuce that is a more compact head and it's very heat tolerant. But let me tell you something. You look at, see if you can see this. Hopefully you guys can see like how firm this lettuce is, how it bounces back. You can't buy anything in the store like that. The crunch on this lettuce is ridiculous. So that makes me inspired to eat a salad. Some days I want to have a red leaf lettuce. I can just grow it. Some days I want to have that crunchy romaine. I can just grow it and it's good to go. It's amazing. I love to make these Asian noodle bowls. Okay, so I'm growing bok choy. These are only about 3 or 4 weeks old. I don't know about you, when you get bok choy in the store, it doesn't look like this. This grows a little different and it's just so good. And check this out. It gets big. You grow from a seed and I can't compare to what Beverly was doing. I didn't know the celery could get that big. I'm afraid of that. But just Beverly showed you guys earlier with that really old kale plant or a Swiss chard, you can just pick it off and you make your bok choy, you make your soup, and it's just perfect. Perfect. Some Chinese cabbage up here, tons of basil. My wife loves making pesto, but I'm not allowed to have the oil anymore, so I just skip it. I can put it in my sourdough breads though. I got cilantro for my Asian dishes. How about a poblano pepper? Because it's nice to have some brown rice and black beans, but why not make it like awesome? That's the thing. I'm noticing that if you want to eat healthy, here's the thing, like those of you that are like me that like love eating good food, my interpretation of good food growing up was like chicken wings and pizza. But if you explore, I'd love to get that from you, that low oil vegan pesto. But if you explore the other dishes that are out there and learn how to cook without oil, cook with the freshest possible ingredients, use fresh herbs in your cooking. Listen, I've never, in fact, you know what? I cheated. I'll admit, I know Dr. Nalani's on here. Don't get on me now, Dr. Nalani, but we went up to New York a couple weeks ago and I went to Joe's Pizza. I had to have some New York pizza because I love pizza in my past life. I was eating the pizza and it just isn't that good. It's not as good as the stuff we're eating at home. I'm telling you, this makes a huge difference. I want to encourage you guys just to grow what you love and to use your tower garden as inspiration to cook in a healthy way. All right. That's really just what I wanted to share to you guys. Oh, and I always like to tell people now, especially you men, you got to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers right now, if you don't know your cholesterol, if you don't know your blood pressure, if you and what diabetics, same deal. There's so many people affected by diabetes. By the way, the same diet that'll reverse heart disease reverses diabetes. You don't have to be diabetic. Type 1, I don't know about that, but type 2, my mom was type 2 diabetic, medication, the whole deal. She now does 2 Juice Plus shakes a day. She takes triple capsules. She has a tower garden. She does the Shred 10. She's not on any medication. The doctor says basically you don't have diabetes anymore. All right. So know your numbers, get educated, not educated by somebody on TikTok. I'm talking about like Dr. Ornish, Dr. Esselstyn, the real deal. There's leaders like many of us in this community that can guide you towards the right people to study, and you can learn how to really conquer those diseases. And you'd be surprised how enjoyable. It's fun. It's fun. I see Dr. Nalani commenting on there, but now I understand. She was just enlightened. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Unfortunately for me, it took a scare that could have killed me. And I don't want that for other people. So that's why I share this message and I want to inspire you guys to do some of the same. So I don't know if you guys wanted more views of the tower, but I worked it in as we went. Oh, my green onions. Got to have my green onions. Love them. All right, guys. That's all I got for you guys tonight. I hope you guys enjoy that. And thanks again for inviting me to be on this call.
Thank you so much. Please unmute yourself as we close.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you,
All right.
Doug.
Good work.
Thank you.